Coming up here on Chicago Bears Now, could the Bears trade for a former number 1 overall pick? Let's discuss. I'm Harrison Graham. Welcome into Bears Now by Chat Sports. Could the Chicago Bears pursue a Travon Walker trade? That is the primary topic of today's show. There's some reports out there that the Jags could be open to trading Walker and that they've received interest in the 2022 number 1 overall pick. An NFL executive had this quote in a recent Sports Illustrated report saying, quote, "There is a lot of interest around the league in the Jaguars' Travon Walker. Should the Jags choose to move on, for a rebuilding team, the offers may be so high that they couldn't refuse it." Now, Travon Walker is kind of a polarizing figure, right? Because at the time, number 1 overall pick, athletic freak that wasn't super productive in college, and through one season it was like, oh man, felt like a reach for number 1 overall. It's looking like a reach, but the production's been better, right? QB hits have gone up, the sacks have gone up, the TFLs have gone up. He's become a good player. Like he's a good player. I don't think he'll ever live up to the number 1 overall pick status, but neither is Jadeveon Clowney, and he's had a pretty damn good career. So I think Travon Walker is on a good trajectory to being, a 10-plus year pro. I think the Jaguars' angle here could be new coaching staff, maybe want to lean into offense and Trevor Lawrence more in terms of resources, how you want to spend your money. He's entering the final year of his rookie deal before a 5th-year option, which they also have to decide on soon if they're going to commit to that 5th-year option. They basically have 12 months to commit to Travon Walker or move on. And if you're going to move on, you'd rather get something for him than decline his 5th-year option and just let him walk, right? Like, I don't think they'd do that. I think they would pick up that option if they do decide to keep him. So they've got that decision soon. And I would say overall, probably about a 12-month period to decide if he's a part of their long-term plans or not. So while I don't think they're actively shopping him, I do think they would listen, and if they got an offer that entices them, I think they would consider pulling the trigger. Obviously, for the Bears, they've made some moves to beef up this defensive line, but it's far from a complete unit, right? I mean, Grady, Jarrett, good addition on the interior, both from an on-the-field and leadership standpoint. Dayo Adangbo, who will probably start at edge, but certainly will kick inside some. You could certainly have room for another starting caliber edge like Travon Walker. Like, you bring him in here, and you kind of have 5 starters for 4 spots, and you're just rotating in a lot. And, should the Bears do that? That's a fair question to ask because they've obviously spent a lot of money this offseason. If you trade for Travon Walker, you would almost certainly commit to an extension, if not right away, within the next 12 months, unless it was just a complete flop. So I'm open-minded. I'm usually open-minded when it comes to trades, especially if you're not breaking the bank. And I know that NFL executive said if the offers are good enough, they would consider it. I'll just say this off the rip, and I have a trade idea later that we'll get to. I wouldn't give up a first-round pick for him, but a day 2 pick, I'm always open-minded to those type of packages to get productive players into the building. Should the Bears trade for Travon Walker? What say you? Just in a vacuum, would you like to trade for him? Type T for trade or P for pass. Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, obviously, when it comes to these things, you always consider the cap hits. Now, if he's traded, his cap hit this year in 2025, $5.8 million. Pretty reasonable, right? Still on that rookie deal. And then the team trading for him would then have the option to either pick up or decline his 5th-year option as long as you trade for him before the deadline, which I forget when that is, but it's sometime in the next couple of months. I would think you would either pick that up if you're the Bears or any team trading for him, or you would just give him an extension right away to keep him for the long term. So I do think an extension would be likely regardless of the 5th-year option status. Now, Travon Walker, who has back-to-back 10-sack seasons, I do think it's a little misleading. I don't think this is one of the premier pass rushers in the league. I think he's a good player. He's a pretty solid run defender. I think he's an above-average pass rusher, but I don't think he's special in that regard. 56 pressures on over 550 pass rush snaps. That's just over 10%. That's kind of average, maybe a tick above average, at his position. So you get into the advanced numbers, it's like, okay, like he's not wrecking games, right? At least consistently. Certainly capable. 10-plus sacks back-to-back years. You don't just luck into 10 sacks, but, maybe maybe 4 of those sacks are a little misleading, right? Where he's kind of just the one cleaning them up. I think he's a good, not a great player, at least not yet. Could he still get there? Yeah, he's got the athletic traits. He's improved from year 1 to year 3. I don't think he'll ever be number 1 pick status, but could he be a first-round caliber player for an 8 to 10-year period? I still think that could be on the board, but when you look at deep into the numbers, the fact that he's 3 years in, the fact that you probably have to extend him, I don't know, is he $18 to $20 million per year? That seems fair for kind of the numbers he's put up. I don't think you're giving him near $30 million. I think you add all that up, this is probably what I would offer. I would offer 72. If you offer 39 or 41, I'd probably want to pick back, probably like a 4th-round pick, which I'd be okay with that package as well because the Bears don't have a 4th-round pick. So give up 41, say, get back pick, 105 or whatever the case is. That's pretty similar to trading 72, and at least you're not losing volume of picks. You're actually it's a net zero there, so I'd be open to that as well. But would you do a trade like this, something that adds up to a 3rd-round pick? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I would be open to it. I'd want to know what the extension numbers would look like. If he's asking for 25 to 30 million per year, maybe I would not. But if you could get him around 20 million, maybe like a 3 for 60 extension, I think I'd be open for business for that. But not sure if the Bears would play ball. But if you did that, you'd have even more flexibility on who you would target in the draft in terms of positional value. Okay. Yourself this Bears Nike t-shirt for 45% off at chatsports.com/Bears T. 45% off, limited time only right now. Chatsports.com/Bears T. Put it in the comments and the description for you guys. That way you can click and shop today. Okay, we shift from Travon Walker, who I don't know if the Jags would take 72, but that would be my offer, to the upcoming season in general. Is Vegas high on Chicago? FanDuel put out their latest NFC Championship winner odds. So favorites to win the NFC and go to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. And the Bears are sitting there seventh best odds behind the Eagles, Lions, 49ers, Commanders, Rams, and Packers. Bears are 7th. So, not crazy, right? Because that's basically just saying they're going to get the 7th seed in a way, right? Like, this is the 7th best team in the NFC. I could see that being the case. I could see them being the 5th best team in the NFC. Like, I don't think that's off the table at all. Like, I think if you're a Bears fan, you should have playoff aspirations. New coaching staff, talent at every position. Sure, you need to, strengthen some position groups in the draft still. Running back, linebacker, safety, the trenches, like you certainly could add there. But to act like this team winning 10 or 11 games is impossible, if Caleb Williams takes the proper steps, I think that's very much on the table, at least as a possibility entering 2025. Now, on paper, the schedule isn't the easiest. Now, you do get probably the 2 lesser NFC East teams at home, Dallas and New York. Those are 2 games I think you look at pretty winnable. Cleveland and Pittsburgh are probably the 2 lesser AFC North teams, so you get those at home as well. You get the Saints at home. I think your home schedule is actually pretty manageable, but the road's tough, right? All 3 division games, Eagles, Commanders, Ravens, Bengals, Niners. I mean, other than the Raiders, every game on the road is going to be difficult. And every game in the road in the NFL is difficult, period. It's not like you're going to roll into Vegas probably and win by 2 touchdowns. So not going to be easy whatsoever. But look, if the Bears are a good team, then they should beat some of these good teams. So I do think with a good draft, and if Caleb does take steps like we need him to, then I think the Bears have a shot to win 10, maybe 11 games and be a wild card team, if not compete for the division. Predict the Bears' record in 2025. What's the record going to be this year? 17 games. I don't know. Are they going to win 9, 10 games? 9-8, 10-7? 10-7 should almost certainly get you into the playoffs, I would think, out of the NFC this year. Give us your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We will continue to pump out content here on a daily basis. Normally, we put out 2 videos per day, if not more, if there's breaking news. So hit that sub button, turn on the noties, and like the video.